listening to the Jboy Show, your number one source for Auburn and the SEC.
My goal was to run through his soul and grab his heart when I run through his soul. Kurt, Nate, Coach Dye, those are memories.
I think we've established ourselves as, I think, the premier conference in college football.
Now, the SEC is better at the top. It's better in the middle.
The Southeastern Conference remains the premier conference.
Takes the snap. Looking for the receiver. He's got Lutz and Kirkland. Touchdown, Auburn!
Think about it. It's always been the SEC and everybody else trying to catch it.
I think this is probably the best league from a competitive venue standpoint.
Most capable teams. You just look at those programs, the way they recruit, how they invest.
Snap to Burrow. 3 steps. Fires. Back corner of the end zone. Over the shoulder catch. Did he hold on? He did. Justin Jefferson. Touchdown, Tiger.
And now, your host, Jboy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this special Monday edition of the Jboy Show. Really excited. You know, we've had a bunch of high-profile personnel on here and a bunch of high-profile coaches, Bruce Pearl, Stacy Searles, but I'm really excited to be joined by Auburn's outside linebackers coach, a hell of a coach and a hell of a guy, and that's Coach Al Pogue. Coach, I really appreciate you taking some time, man.
Hey, man, thanks, J-Boy, for having me, man. I'm excited. You know, when you extended the invitation, man, I just felt like it was something I couldn't pass up.
well, shoot, man, I appreciate it coming from you. That means a lot, and we're really excited to get you on here. And you know, it's crazy. We're recording this obviously on Thursday and releasing it today on Monday. But you know, we just got word about what the SEC did, and I know it's so new and so fresh. I don't know how much you can really speak on it, but looking at it now and kind of seeing it, was this something that you and the staff and the program was kind of anticipating?
Well, yeah, somewhat. You know, our head football coach, Coach Malzahn, he did an outstanding job of just always, keeping us abreast on what was going on as far as what the possible scenarios could be. I mean, we didn't have any definite answers, but we did understand what the, possible scenarios could be. So, we were as prepared as we could possibly be to deal with, the forthcoming news.
Yeah, and again, it's something where you guys have done a really good job, especially during the pandemic, of kind of leading the way and just putting yourself out there in the best manner possible and being prepared for this. And again, I'm sure you're just like I am, and a lot of people just happy that we're going to play some football. Oh yeah, no, without a doubt, man.
This is definitely my passion, my calling, and man, just to have the opportunity to get out there, with the young men again and help them grow and develop and reach their maximum potential. I'm excited to get back on the grass with them.
Definitely, and it's something where I've had a bunch of guests on, and I coached for a while, and I know how the routine, if it gets disrupted, man, it's just crazy, and this is kind of throwing the routine off. But before we kind of get to kind of getting things back cranked up and back to usual as much as possible, kind of want to talk about you, Coach, because it is kind of a homecoming for you. Auburn was really your first college job, if I read that correctly, and you were at Troy and West Virginia. And can you just talk about what it kind of means to you, kind of coming back to where it all kind of started in the coaching realm for you?
Man, it means the world to me, because again, this goes to show that not Auburn and not only believed in me not only one time but twice.
Yeah,
believe him. So I'm excited about that. And like you say, Auburn gave me an opportunity to, so to speak, cut my teeth in this college football deal. And so I'm excited, man. Now my role has increased. I have an even greater role now as being an on-field assistant. Man, I'm so excited. I can't wait, until they open the gates, man. It's kind of like when at the race, when they open the gates and they take off, the horses take off to run the race. Man, I'm excited. I'm ready, man. So I'm excited, man. And then, like I said, it means the world to me that Auburn believes, not only believed in me one time to give me an opportunity to get into college football coach, but now they believe in me again, to go out and help them, compete at a national level for championships.
And again, like you said, it is a great compliment, and being hired back, it just shows, like you said, just the comments they have in you, and they should. You're a guy that, at Troy, you guys, I know we're number 5 in the country in interceptions, and y'all played great defense, and you did the same thing at West Virginia. So you're a guy that's going to help a unit that has already shown that they can dominate, and they did lose a lot. But going into this season, Coach, kind of looking at, I know you guys are really confident with the personnel that you have. Can you just kind of talk about the feeling defensively going into this year, and kind of where you guys are hopefully going to be, once the time we kick this thing off?
Oh man, I hate to use the word. We're going to shock a lot of people, but man, we have the tools to be really good. Now we lost some production last year. With the 2 draft picks, the 3 draft picks on defense, and a couple of other guys who got their opportunity. But man, we're excited. This is the year. This is a fun year. Coach G and Coach D, we talked about it. Man, this is the fun year. This is the year where you get a chance to coach and really, show people that, hey, man, we're for real. So it's going to be a lot of fun. The kids are up to the task, and, we're just going to keep our head down and grind and continue to put that quality product out on the field, that Auburn-type style defense out on the field that everybody's accustomed to, again, this year.
Yeah, and that's a great point. And again, it's a mindset. And I do kind of want to talk about that for a second, Coach, because, when you watch Auburn play defense and when you were here in 11 and 13 and a national championship year, the defense that was played that year, but, just the effort and the never give up, using last year's Iron Bowl as an example, Alabama drives the ball down the goal line and they run a little play action pass and get heated up early and he throws it early and it's a pick six, 100 yards the other way. And can you just talk about what the culture that's there and how that's built in and how the players police themselves? Because I think you guys as a coaching staff do an unbelievable job of having the players police themselves.
Well, it all starts from the top, with the hit. And then it goes to our leader, Coach Steele. I mean, man, he the kids have bought into the philosophy of playing with relentless effort. And there's an expectation there, and, the leaders before have done a great job of, instilling the culture at the locker room level. And so the kids, they believe it and they understand, or they expect nothing less than what's been, kind of put in place before. So the good thing about it is, man, our kids are always looking to outdo the last bunch. So that kind of keeps it going, and because the kids want to be good, they enjoy their success. It's like a baby, a baby that's been on formula. Once they get a taste of Coke or Sprite or something sweet, they don't want that formula. They want the sugar. Exactly the same with the kids, man. They enjoy that sugar. So and they realize, man, playing with relentless effort is non-negotiable. And again, that starts with our leader, Coach Steele, and everybody, everybody being on the same page with that.
Yeah, and it's something, and I do want to talk about Coach Steele for a second. And the old saying, and Wayne said it, women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. And if you look at Auburn defensively, against the top teams in the country, Auburn's having, they're the biggest problem for the top offenses. LSU's a great example last year. Can you just talk about, and again, you're way closer to it than I am, but obviously you guys have everything schematically that you need. You have an answer for everything, but it never seems like you guys are lost or have too much in. Can you talk about just how defensively and schematically you guys do such a good job of, I call it addition by subtraction, having enough to be prepared, but also not having too much to where your athletes can be athletes within the scheme of what you're doing?
Right. Well, like you say, first of all, we don't try to overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
We want the kids to play fast. We do the thinking. We want them to do the reacting.
Exactly. That's why you recruited them.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Exactly. So again, Coach Steele does a really good job, man, of putting together plans that allow our kids to play fast. And then our kids, they invest because they believe in what we're doing. So they invest in the film study and, we give them keys throughout the week, and they invest in that, in those things. And man, and when they get out on the field and they see it, it's clear as day. It's a really good feeling when you hear, you talked about something always, then they see it in the game and you hear kids calling out, plays. That can be demoralizing for
Oh, yeah. It's the best feeling in the world as a coach.
Exactly. So, again, man, just put it, like you said, put it in just enough for our kids to be successful and being confident in what they've been taught and the things that they've seen, throughout a week leading up to a game.
Yeah, you encapsulated that perfectly, and it translates, and you can see it. And speaking of higher ups on the staff, I notice, because every coaching staff's different, and if you're really not on one, you don't really know everything that goes on. But it seems to me, being a defensive guy and watching it, Coach Malzahn obviously is in control of everything in the program, but really seems to do a good job of letting you guys defensively do what y'all want to do and what has worked, and that really speaks to him. And obviously, he's known for his offensive philosophy and everything like that. And I'm sure there's always times when the head coach has to be the head coach, but he really does seem to do a great job of letting you guys coach, and that speaks volumes about him and where the program is.
Hey, exactly. You hit the nail right on the head. He kind of, he sets the framework for what he wants to get done and how he wants to do it. And Coach Steele and Coach Morris, those guys do a great job of relaying those plans and putting them in motion. And, and again, he has 100%, Coach Malzahn has 100% confidence in those guys, and they know it. And so, man, he steps out of the way and he allows them to do what they do best. And I mean, look at the results that it has produced, especially defensively.
Exactly, and you just look at the numbers on the paper, and it lines up. And again, you never feel when Auburn trots out there on the field defensively, you always have confidence, and I think that speaks volumes just for the culture and what you guys have continued to cultivate there, on that side of the ball. And I do for a second want to talk about the other side of the ball and having a quarterback like Bo Nix, coming off a freshman season where, you get thrown into the fire, you go down to LSU, you go play in Jerry's World against Oregon and make a big league throw to win the game. But as a true freshman, and you know how it is, you played the game and been around it your whole life, Coach, it's hard to lead even as a quarterback as a true freshman, especially when you have guys like Derek Brown and you can't go overboard. And every player that I've talked to and everybody around the program seems to think that Bo just did a fantastic job of leading just enough that first year and setting himself up this year to where he can take the reins fully and be the guy.
Right. I mean, and again, man, you have to understand, man, Bo was born to be the quarterback.
Yeah, he was. The prophecy's fulfilled.
No doubt. He's been training for these moments all his life, man. So for him to get out there and show the maturation that he did, goes back to the solid foundation that, he's a coach's kid who played at all. So I think by him having his father, kind of, because nothing could prepare him for actually being out there, but kind of letting him know, hey, here's what it's going to be like playing in that league. And then, man, Bo is a winner. I mean, he's just a winner. I mean, this kid's all throughout his career in high school. So, I'm not surprised. And his teammates are. And, he does a great job. He didn't come in, he came in and he earned his teammates' respect. And with that, sometimes you have to produce, and he did that. So, man, he has total control. He's in command over there, and they follow his lead. So we're excited, man, about where he's going to lead us. And he embraces the role, and he works. He works to be the guy. He's a humble kid and a great leader for us.
Definitely, and I know you guys make plays on defense in practice against them all the time, but I'm sure there's times sitting in that defensive staff meeting after practice and he makes a throw that, he just fits one in there and you're like, man, I'm glad he's our quarterback.
No doubt. You like, whoa, did you see that? You're absolutely correct, man. You like, man, you sure hate to, be on the opposite sideline trying to game plan for this guy. So
yeah, exactly. And I appreciate that. And I do for a second, Coach, want to talk about the pandemic. And it's thrown everybody for a loop. I guess the one thing is everybody has to go through it. But, just from them pushing back the deadline or the dead period and just the things that have happened, how much has social media and Zoom and basically virtual recruiting taken over? And do you think this is something that people are going to start using even when we can go back to basically normal?
Man, the social media and Zoom has been a big part. Now, it's basically been the window that's connected the prospect to our program, to the pro. So it's been big for us from that aspect, giving us some kind of way to at least communicate. Because we all know, recruiting is a big part of our lifeline as far as winning football games getting played. So, it definitely was big for social media too, and I do see in the near future that us continuing to incorporate Zoom into what we're doing, because now let's say you may have someone, a parent or a kid that may be sick. Now here's a way for you to bring your program to them some kind of way, via Zoom or if you want to show them, or take them on a visit, or a kid may come to campus and he may have somebody that's near and dear to him who couldn't make it at the time. This can be their way of enjoying that visit with him as well. So, I think it's the new wave. You're going to have to. It's going to continue to be a part of recruiting and the process. Here moving forward.
Definitely. And I appreciate you, kind of shedding some light into that, because it is a huge part. And I'll be interested to see how much of it is used and if they start counting virtuals as officials at some point, because I know they're going to be used like crazy if a kid can't make it.
No doubt.
But
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, but I was about to say, I think you're spot on. It's going to get really creative here in a minute, because, I think they're going to have to put some type of regulation on it. Because if not, man, you got some coaches that are really creative, man. They'll find a way to eventually abuse it. So, if we can avoid abusing it, I think we'll be in a good place for it. But if not, I can definitely foresee the NCAA putting some type of restriction on it as far as when and how you can do it.
Yeah, and I think it'll be very interesting to see it, and I think it's just a matter of time, as you well know. But I want to kind of talk a little recruiting philosophy for 1 second with you, Coach, because you're such a good recruiter. I'm not just saying this because you're on the show. I mean, it's proven. You recruit at a very high level. You grind. You put the work in. And the thing I hear, because we have recruits on all the time on this show, and I'm talking to them all the time. Obviously, you should probably see on Twitter. But whenever I ask them about who they're talking to, and they talk about you, the first thing they always talk about is that you're real, and that they know that you have their best interest in mind. And I think, when you're recruiting and you're having to talk to somebody, for the first time, or you're trying to ingratiate yourself to somebody and convince them to come play for you. And number one, convince the parents you'll take care of their son or the auntie or uncle, the grandparents, whatever. Can you just talk about what that means? And you get in these relationships with these guys and you hope you get them. But at the end of the day, they got to trust you. And it seems like you guys have the trust.
No doubt, and that's what we were. Recruiting. Recruiting is the root of it all. It's about relationships. Mm-hmm. I learned that a long time ago. Recruiting is all about relationships, and that always remains in the back of my mind. So when I tell a guy, man, I say, man, look, I want to have a real relationship with you. I want to call and talk to your mom. Your dad. I want them to be able to feel like they can call and talk to me anytime. And I want you to be comfortable talking to me. And then me personally, and I don't knock what anybody do, but every time I call and talk to a kid, it's not about recruiting.
Yeah. About life.
Yeah, it's about life. I mean, I just call and say, man, listen, I'm calling to check on you, man. Or hey, you want to get in on this game on 2K, so I can bust you up in this 2K or whatever it is. I think kids appreciate that. But instead of every time you call them, you're talking about football, recruiting, when you gonna commit, it's a thing like this. So I just try to have a really good organic relationship, just a genuine conversation, with them, and they seem to appreciate that, and more so the parents of just inclusion. Yeah, because a lot of times, man, you have a lot of recruiters. They strictly deal with the kid. They don't want to be bothered with the parent, no mamas, no daddy. They want to deal with the kid and maybe somebody, a coach or somebody around the kid. So, I tell them, hey man, I want to do it the right way. I want to recruit you. I want to recruit everybody and build a relationship with everybody that's important to you. Yeah, because I mean, it's a family decision, and again, it's something to where going and introducing yourself to brand new people. It can take some time, but at the end, when it comes down to it, whether it be a 4-star, 5-star, 3-star, whatever, when they come down to decide, those are relationships that matter, and those are the things that build that trust. Because at the end of the day, you're asking a mama and a daddy, or a grandma or auntie or uncle to let you have their child for 4 to 5 years. It is a big deal. But Coach, kind of last question as we wrap up here. Coaching the outside backers and just being a part, and coaching the different positions you have, whether it's corners or anywhere, which, speaks to your knowledge on the defensive side of the ball. But, the linebacker room at Auburn is as talented and as deep as it's been in a long time. Can you just talk about that group and the leadership? You have KJ, you have Zacoby, you have guys that have made big time plays and big time games. And that's going to help and speak volumes, especially since there was no spring ball. Yeah, no doubt. And, Coach Travis Will, he's done an outstanding job. I got to get Travis on, man. I got to get T-Will on. Yeah, man. I'm sure he'll jump to it, man. Hey, man, and they, a lot of times, your room reflects who you are. Mm-hmm. And, man, those guys are a direct reflection of him, man. KJ, just the leadership, that abilities that they bring, and, Chandler Wooten and those guys, and Kobe and all those guys, man. So, they do a really good job of leading our team. And we always talk to them about being a player-led team. And, man, those guys take the team by the reins, man, and they leaders. But, as far as me with the outside linemen, coaching the Bucks and Derek Hall and Big Cat, Brian, those guys, man. Those guys, it's the exact same way for me. Coach G has done an outstanding job coaching those guys, man. They're hard-nosed. They give maximum effort. You can coach them hard, and they appreciate that. So, man, I feel like I'm like a kid at a candy store, man. The keys to the Maserati, they're in the car running. I just get in, let the automatic seatbelt buckle up, and, man, I just press auto drive and let it go. Let it ride, baby. I love it. The self-park, baby. No doubt. But shoot, man, I know you're going to give them even more tools. And speaking about Big Cat and Derek, and again, as a coach, man, I know you're excited about all of them and being able to work with all of them. But can you just talk about, one, how much the experience of being next to a Derek Brown and a Marlon Davidson has helped those two, especially with Big Cat, and how excited you are for Big Cat to really kind of have a chance to be a huge focal point, we can say, and a guy that is poised to have a huge year. Right. Well, man, I think it was big for him because he got an opportunity to see, the type of leadership, work ethic, everything that is going to take to be successful. So it's not like he's coming in and he's just kind of, he hears about it and he had an opportunity to see it and play at a high level, like you said, right next to those guys. So again, he's a part of, carrying on the legacy that those guys left. So now he has to understand that now he's responsible for, bringing the next or leading the next group of guys and leaving a legacy. So, for him, he was very fortunate to be out to be on the field with those guys. He understands what it is to play at a high level and what it's going to take, if he plans on, if he's going to help us continue to be the top level defense that we are, and if he wants to get his name called on draft day, he understands exactly what it's going to take because he's seen it firsthand.
Exactly, and there's no experience like seeing it. It's the same thing with Bo Nix as we talked about earlier. But Coach, as we wind down, just real quick, I know you can't tell me everything, but what are you guys doing now as a team just to update people and kind of where you guys are at and where it stands right now?
Right now, the NCAA, they do allow us to do walkthroughs with a sort of a OTA style practice, and so that's been really good for us mentally. Especially for the young guys. So it gives us an opportunity to slow things down and put live bodies in front of them. And so they can see how it all fits together, how it moves. Because, it's one thing to look at, to look at something on Zoom or on paper for X amount of months. Now you actually get a chance to see live warm bodies do it. And then also for our older guys, it gives them an opportunity to perfect their craft, their fundamentals. Yeah. It gives us an opportunity as coaches to coach the minute details. So, it's been really good, man. These walkthroughs have been really good along with our meetings. So,
yeah, and I appreciate that, Coach. And it's amazing. It's also so awesome when you get them out there and can move them around, how the vets are able to help, too, out there on the field with the guys, especially during walkthrough when, you're not running around.
Exactly. That's again, it's just that it's a walkthrough. It's all about fit, hand placement, eye. Like I said, you just have a real opportunity to coach all the small detail and be perfect and perfected. And then it's just like muscle memory. The more they do it, the better they're going to do. And then when we go full speed, we'll be much further along. Than we would normally be at that time.
Definitely. And the old saying, you reap what you sow, and I know you guys are putting in the work. But, Coach, talking to Coach Al Pogue, outside linebackers coach at Auburn, and Coach, I really appreciate you coming on, man. I know you guys are busy, and we're really excited to get a football coach on, and looking forward to watching you, and you're a great representation of the school, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate all that you do, the great content that you put out, man, and just having an overall great show. It was a great experience for me. And, man, like I said, anytime you want to have me, I'll be more than welcome to do it.
Well, Coach, I really appreciate that, man. And just like you, I'm going to keep grinding and excited to see where it goes. And we're definitely going to have you back, and good luck, and stay safe out there, and y'all go do y'all's thing.
Yes, sir. War Eagle to you.
All right, War Eagle, Coach. See ya. That was Auburn outside linebackers coach Al Pogue. Really excited to get him on here. And again, you see what type of people, Coach Malzahn has surrounded the program with. And you see the success that they've had. And the reason that you don't see a ton of off the field stuff at Auburn or anything crazy like that behind the scenes, it's because you have people, like Coach Pogue that care about the kids and care about what happens off the field as well. And it's amazing when you do that, how that blends on the field, and that trust factor that me and him were talking about, how that develops. And you almost start seeing things the exact same way, and especially on the field, that helps from a coaching standpoint. But again, as usual, appreciate y'all. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at the Jboy Show, on YouTube, the Jboy Show. Remember, text JBOY to 90407, and you'll get our earliest predictions, except for the VIP chat. I'm not gonna lie, they get it pretty early as well. But again, you guys are the best. We're gonna keep growing, keep having more guests. That's our first Auburn football coach on. I'm sure we're gonna get more and more other schools in there. Appreciate you guys as always. Thanks to IBN Sports, the best PR team in the game. Faison in the studio, whipping it up. This has been another edition of the Jboy Show, and Jboy's going, gone.